Hey, Ashworms, and welcome to today's podcast. I am your host, and I am here with Eddie.
That's me.
And we're giving you this is story time with Eddie, and this is the part 2 of The Train.
That's right. We ended off with Mary and her mom going to a train station, and the train will take them home. Okay. The train station was always full at this hour, and it was. People bustling and crowding and getting onto the train. Mary's mother always knew exactly when the train would be in the station and always came at the right time so that they didn't have to wait. They entered the train, and it was not as full as usual. Mary's mother noticed the way her daughter was sulking because of her bad day at school, and she smiled softly, holding her close and rubbing her arm reassuringly. That comforted Mary a bit, and her sadness started to fade a bit. She notices an elderly woman sitting across from them and stares curiously at her, examining all her features and wrinkles. The older woman notices Mary's curiosity and grins warmly. "Hello, young girl. Would you like to hear some wisdom from an old timer like me?" Mary nodded eagerly. Her mom didn't seem to mind the elderly woman speaking to her daughter, and weirdly enough, she didn't even seem to notice the woman was there. The woman leaned over slightly. "Fear never wins a battle. When faced with a challenge, you must show bravery, and the fear will disappear. Remember this and you will prevail." Mary had to take a few seconds to understand what the woman had said, and she nods, grinning and repeating the woman's words in her head. The elderly woman chuckles, and the rest of the ride was silent between them. Mary and her mother arrived at their stop. She wanted to wave goodbye to the woman, but when she looked back at the seat she was in, she was not there.
Okay.
This confused Mary, but she quickly brushed it off. Stay tuned for the rest of the story, Ashworms.
Woo! Well, that was exciting.
Yes.
And that was a great old lady.
Yes, the weird old lady who likes to speak to children about her wisdom.
Oh, wow. I have now sadly gone solo for the rest of the podcast, but that's okay, as I have a theory I want to share with you guys. Okay, so just for a little disclaimer, when I hear the story, I hear it all for the first time when I'm there with Eddie and we're recording. So I know just as much as you guys do going through. I mean, obviously, if we're going through it further with the other videos, I will know more. Nothing I ever get is like details about what characters look like, which is all I ever really need. But besides that, I don't really know much. So I can't wait again to hear more of Eddie's story. But honestly, it's exciting, and I hope we get to learn more. But here's my theory. My theory is with the old lady, and I think the old lady is a ghost. A ghost that was on that train, that monster train that we hear about at the beginning, which the story kind of at first sounds like a myth, but I'm starting to think that it's not a myth, and that the old lady was one of those people who died on the train. Okay? And hear me out, because in the story of what we've read so far, right, we find out that she, disappears, which people don't normally do that, and I think she said that it was really hard to see the lady, which to me is like, okay, it's kind of giving off ghost vibes, or something's going on with this lady, because honestly, I want to know more about this lady now. So thanks, Eddie, for that. But I know that I won't find out anything, and I don't really want to, because I want to hear it with you guys, and go on that little adventure when we do story time with Eddie. But yeah, like this is it's really getting really exciting. And I can't wait to hear more. I might even participate in telling some of the story. But yeah, also I wanted to say thank you to Eddie for joining me for this podcast. And I also want to say from last podcast, thank you to Chloe for joining and just giving some art tips with me during last podcast as well. Thanks for tuning in to today's podcast. Until next time.